Hello, everybody. Joe Becca Donuts here, and welcome back for another episode of Tsukihime Remake, where last time we left off, got our big old lore dump from Ciel about how all of our stuff works, and I am still getting used to my new recording setup because my brain just does not like that things are different in my peripheral. I don't have my big pop filter. I have the XLR cable running down like my microphone's boom arm, but it's not like striped. It's weird. It has oh god, how do I describe it? It has like a braided cable, well, exterior around it, like it's the fabric braid, and it's black. But then running down it, there's like three dashes of white every little bit. It's not quite polka dotted. They're more like rectangular shapes, like white fabric, but it's just enough that it stands out in my peripheral, and it hasn't gotten to the point where it just blends in as visual white noise yet. So it's fairly distracting just because it's different. And when I'm getting kind of in the mode, where I kind of start going on autopilot, I'll realize, oh god, my microphone's not there, but it's just a different microphone. It's a very, very strange thing to describe. If you've ever moved house, it's kind of like that too, where the layout of things is just different, and everything's jarring, even though it's perfectly normal. It's not how it was before. So therefore, your brain flags it as off and strange. And it's going to take a while until this microphone that's in front of me right now enters into my mental catalog as visual white noise, like my keyboard or my coffee pot, or like the bottle of Jack Daniels I have sitting next to my second monitor. That thing's been sitting there for so long, I don't even register it anymore. But, yeah. Anyway, sorry about the delay on the episodes there. It got pretty busy at work because I was also covering the weekend, which, how it's supposed to work is they only call us in to do what we need to do, and then we go home. And then some days you're not even supposed to get called in at all, but of course I got called in on all 4 days. So while everyone was enjoying a nice long Thanksgiving weekend, I was at work, working the entire weekend. So that kind of mental wear and tear, and just weird hours I was working too, because I'm standard, 8 to 3 or 8 to 4, whatever that 8-hour shift is. Whatever, it's too early, I can't do math. Normally I'm working an 8-hour shift from the morning to early afternoon. And then I go home, and then I record, rinse and repeat. But because it's a weird weekend schedule, I'm working from like noon to midnight, which means work gets done at midnight, which means I have to come in from work, still at work, and handle all the back end stuff, like document everything in the computer logs, go run around turning parts. So then I'm not even home until like 1:30 in the morning. And then I go to sleep in, wake up at 10, get ready, get dressed, and go into work, rinse and repeat. Not a lot of time to record mixed in there. And even if I did find the time, I can tell you it wouldn't be a very interesting commentary. I would just have been out of it, which I kind of was for most of the morning. That's why I was putting it off. Oh. Until now. Until my coffee was done getting made, because I finally have some coffee again in the house. But the plus side of working all weekend is I have like the next 3 days off. So I will have time to record, and I will have no excuse not to record, which is me telling myself that I will record tomorrow, even though I recorded today, and I will record the day after, in order to, get some videos up, remind the YouTube algorithm that I'm still alive. Let me shake shake my Joy-Cons around so that way the screen comes back. There we go. That's the one thing I can say. I have no idea why this game wasn't released on Steam. You know, Tsukihime. I'm pretty sure I went into this big rant in like episode 1. You know, fairly famous PC visual novel. The remake doesn't even have a PC port yet, being the keyword there, yet. But still, it's been a while. Hell, it's been like 2 years since it was released in Japan, and I don't even know if they have a PC port yet. So, we are in the era of the casuals. I'm surprised it doesn't have a goddamn Google Play or Apple Store port yet, so you can just play it on your phone, as modern Type Moon intends. Either that, or they just make it a event in Fate Grand Order or something. I won't get into it. I won't ruin my morning like this, even though it's afternoon now because it's past noon. But I've only been up for a couple hours, so it still feels like morning. Anyway, I haven't really got too much more to ramble on about, so let's get the show on the road, huh? The setting sun bathes the club room in scarlet. Ciel and I stayed here until the end of the school day.
では、今日から私と遠野くんはチームですね。
Yeah,
二人で事
considering
件を解
Arcuid
決しま
kind
しょう。
of dumped us last time, you know, you're just the rebound girl.
一旦お家に戻りますか？死者の探索は夜になってからの方が効率的ですし。
Ciel turns to me as she clears away the teacups. Her suggestion makes sense, but I'm surprised to hear it coming from her.
本当に俺でいいですか？
もちろんです。協力してくれると言ったのは遠野くんの方じゃないですか。
Yeah, and you know, the way she views it, if you're gonna go out and do it anyway, even if she tells you no, she can just kind of keep you, you know, keep your leash pulled and keep you close to her so that way you don't get yourself in any danger.
遠野くんを一人にするのも危険だし、
Mm-hmm.
私がつきっきりで監督させてもらいます。これでも先輩ですから、やるとなったら吸血鬼探しのイロハをたっぷり教え込んであげましょう。
Maybe don't like try to recruit him into the burial agency. Like, I'm sure they have great benefits. And you probably fill out one hell of a travel voucher after you get back from your missions and make a nice chunk of change, but it's kind of a shitty job. Ciel puffs out her chest with pride. That's Sakura's thing, I'll have you know. Her enthusiasm is infectious. But just as I catch it,
とは言っても死者の数は減ってきているのでイロハを教え込む前に終わってしまいそうですけど。
yeah, I don't even got any mooks to like grind XP on.
この分ならあと1週間。
1週間ですか？本当にそんなに早く？
ええ、経験則から言ってそれぐらいです。遠野くんさえ望むならもう1日2日程度の短縮はできますが。
Don't think he has the kind of endurance you do, Ciel. He'll be dead by the end of the first day. 1 week. Arcuid never mentioned how long this vampire business would last. In that vacuum, it was easy to imagine it could continue indefinitely. For it to be over in a week seems surreal.
遠野くん？どうしました？浮かない顔をして。もしや今日中に解決しろなんてことは言いませんよね。
I mean, logically, that would be the best thing to do, but the heart says otherwise.
そんな無茶は言いません。隠れている死者を見つけ出すのは地道な調査だって知ってますから。ただその。
That's why you just burn down the whole town and you'll get them all eventually. You know, let God sort them out.
町に潜む吸血鬼を全部殺したら先輩の仕事も終わってしまいます。そうしたら先輩は
Yeah, you know, go home to your real home. I look away. I'd hoped I'd never have to think about how that sentence ends. Even though I knew my time with Ciel couldn't last forever, it's painful to be staring that truth in the face. Unbearably so.
先輩はすぐに次の町に行ってしまうんですか？
Perhaps that's what pushes me to speak those fateful words.
何を言っているんですか、遠野くんは。
You know, get reassigned.
死者を一掃したところで仕事は終わりませんよ。私はロアを倒すまでこの町に残ります。元凶を残したまま
Cold realization crashes over me as I comprehend her words. I can't go anywhere until I kill Roa.
ちょっと待ってくれ、先輩。そのロアってやつ。
Yeah,
Whoa,
Darkwood killed him, right? Or do you mean, like, removed from existence, not just this incarnation?
はい。
いや、だってアルクエイドのやつ、ロアはもうやっつけたって言ってましたよ。
Yeah, we're kind of talking past each other here. The room freezes. Ciel's eyes stab into mine. Her glare hardens from astonishment to animosity. And all the time I've known her, I've never seen her so shocked. Yeah, the whole week you've known her. And in the end, that's what makes me realize that I've just killed my last, most desperate hope with my own two hands.
先輩、ロアはもう死んでいます。それは確かなことだと俺も思います。
アルクエイドの発言は信じられません。
Yeah, she's a little crazy at the moment.
あいつが嘘を言っていると。
いえ、彼女にそんな気の利いた真似はできないでしょう。
Just a misunderstanding.
この目で見るまでは信じられないという意味です。遠野くん、彼女は他に何か言っていましたか？
他には。ああ、そうだ。ロアの棺は学校の地下にあった。
Yeah, I want to go on a cool, another urban exploration date, but this time to like the boiler room instead of abandoned buildings and like catch mesothelioma.
遠野くんはここに残っていてください。
I don't really think you can catch mesothelioma. It's more like you develop it over time. Ciel puts a hand on the door. Tragic resolve weighs heavy on her shoulders. Another thing that makes it kind of hard, I won't say hard to record, but just different, that feels different, is this new microphone. It doesn't really have the same audio monitoring setting as my other one, so I don't hear myself in my headphones. I can turn on a setting like that in OBS, but there's a delay to it. Kind of like if you've ever hooked up like newscasting equipment. Like they speak and then there's like a half-second delay and then it plays back in their ears. And if you try to talk when that's going on, your brain kind of short circuits and you just end up with mush mouth and you can't talk because your brain's expecting to hear your own voice the second you say it because it's literally coming out of your own head. But with the delay there, there's like a miscompare and your muscles and your brain don't know what's going on and you just start jibber jabbering incoherently. You can look up videos of it, but not being able to hear my own voice directly in my ears like that anymore is throwing me off. Just a little. My new headset, I got one of the ones with the it's got like open earmuffs, so that way I can still hear myself. It doesn't entirely block out all the noise around me. But it's not the same. So it's different and that means it's bad. Anyway, where were we? I can't just stand here and watch her go. I have to make a choice. Can't let her go alone. Only get in her way. Should we tell Miss Noelle? No, we should not tell Miss Noelle. We should definitely go with her. No funky dead ends? No. It just seems like if we stay here, we just miss information, and then we probably won't even be able to find Noelle if we try to go get her, so. I can't let her go alone, especially in her current rattled state. Oh, now I got like static crackling in my ears. Oh, God, I hate the winter. The air's so dry. Besides, I'm not as seasoned as her. This won't be my first excursion into a vampire's den.
また、俺も行きます。協力していいって言ったばかりでしょ、先輩。
It doesn't look like it's coming from my microphone, that little static. It's probably just me moving around too much in my big fluffy robe, building up a charge in my headphone lines. Ciel stops in her tracks. Either she lets me join her, or she effectively ends our partnership. I expected her to mull this over for a few seconds, but she makes a decision instantly.
無駄な所感は挟まず、冷静な判断を保てると誓いますか？
誓います。先輩の邪魔はしません。
いいでしょう。同行してください、遠野君。
Let me try unplugging my headset, see if that gets rid of it, or if it's something like in my audio interface. It's still there. No idea where that static's coming from, but I'll just ignore it. I don't want to have to unplug my equipment and then plug it in and mess up my audio recording.
あなたが私の指示に従う限り、安全は保証します。
I gulp as I nod. That wasn't a request. Follow my orders and I'll keep you safe. The conditional nature of this promise isn't lost on me. If I obey her, she'll do everything in her power to protect me. If I don't, she'll cut me off without a second thought. It might seem cold-hearted on the face of it, but I don't take it that way. She's just trying to impress upon me the danger we're walking into. Ciel leads me into an unremarkable city street, the kind many of my peers might take to school. A concrete waterway wends its way between residential buildings.
先輩、あの下水道に入っていくんですか?
Ah, the classic Japanese flood mitigation.
そうですよ。
Kind of.
あの
I
横
don't want
穴
to
から
call it
中
an
に
open
入り
air
ます。
sewer because that's not what it is. It's just kind of a drainage ditch. But they reinforce it with concrete so it doesn't like flood during the monsoons.
日本の下水路は近代化されていますから、水路に落ちなければ濡れることもありません。ただし、背後や側面に気をつけて。中は明かりがありませんから、目より耳に気を配ってください。
Yeah, just start echolocating in there. Ciel descends from the bridge into the waterway. If I stand here dithering for too long, she's gonna leave me behind. I take a deep breath, hop the fence, and climb down the wall-mounted ladder to join her on the walkway.
まだ太陽は昇っていますが、中に入れば日差しも届きませんし、時間も経過するでしょう。あなたが後ろから離れないように、異常を感じたら、すぐに私の背中を叩くか、声で知らせてください。
Mm-hmm. Two eyes are better than one. Or, well, two sets of eyes, I guess. You want to have two anyway, just so you have depth perception.
俺はナイフがありますけど。
But if you have three eyes or four eyes, does that mean you're able to like? That's the fourth dimension. Can the other one like see time? You may never know.
心配には及びません。国権は必要数常備しています。今回はあくまで調査ですから、ロアの棺を発見次第、撤退して準備を整えます。内部で明かりは使わないので、そのつもりで。
そっか。吸血鬼に気づかれるもんな。携帯の明かりもダメですよね。
Yeah, no.
でも、それだとどうやって中を調べるんですか?
I mean, maybe if you had like a cool set of night vision goggles.
暗視程度なら私でも使えますから心配は不要です。
Oh god, Ciel has fucking dark vision.
水路内は私が先導しますから、先ほど言ったようにと。
And like any player with dark vision, the first thing out of her mouth is, I can see in the dark. I have dark vision. I can see. We're in a dark cave. I can see. She offers me her hand and I take it. With how tightly she squeezes my fingers, she must be more nervous than she's letting on.
行きます。ここからだと学校下付近の水路までは20分ほどでしょう。その間、余計な気は起こさないように。
I'm guessing what she means is try not to lose your nerve. Understood, I nod. With our hands firmly clasped together, we step into total darkness. Ew, gross. The interior of the sewer looks nothing like I'd expected. The passage is about 2 meters wide. Each wall is lined with a walkway large enough for one person, making it easy to making for easy traversal. Though the stench of raw sewage is certainly noticeable, it's not overpowering. Every so often, I feel an unpleasant squelching underfoot, but that's as bad as it gets. I haven't even spotted any rats. Ciel was right. The sewers of a modern city are as well maintained as any other public facility. They're a far cry from Vlov's catacombs. But it's not the question of hygiene that makes me uneasy. It's the constant trickle of water, echoing of our footsteps, the unrelenting darkness. 20 minutes to the school, Ciel said. For now, at least, I only hear 2 pairs of feet. Ciel's pace seems slower than usual, probably out of consideration for me. I follow along silently. Those 20 minutes have to have passed by now. Still no change in our surroundings. Still no sign from Ciel. I unconsciously squeeze her hand tighter.
止まって。今明かりをつけます。
Ciel withdraws her hand from mine, and a pen light flickers to life. It illuminates a ragged hole torn into the wall and a portion of the empty space beyond.
これは
アルクエイドの仕業ですね。こんなところでこんなことをするのはあの考えなしだけでしょう。
Yeah, I can tell it was her because it looks like an industrial accident took place.
なるほど。
Arcuwood being the cause of like a Chinese steel mill live leak video. But, you know, instead of safety illiterate factory workers, they're vampires being torn apart by the lathe that is Arcuwood's fists. I find myself nodding. This is probably as close as Arcuwood gets to a surgical strike.
これ奥に部屋があるんですか？
そのようですね。下水地図にはこんな場所に部屋はありませんでしたが、罠はありませんね。中に入ります。足元に気をつけて。
If you look into the history of like kind of city infrastructure, like old cities, like that have been around for a while, like a place like New York City, let's say that's a good one I know. For example, is the city itself doesn't even know about all the water pipes and water lines and like sewer infrastructure that's there, because it's just been built on top of on top of itself for so long before that stuff was even tracked that some stuff they'll just dig up when they're doing work and be like, oh, this building is supplied water by a section of hollowed out logs acting as water pipes to the building. Cool. We should probably replace those. Apparently, she can tell it's safe even from this distance. We make our way over the pulverized concrete and head into the makeshift tunnel. It leads into a small cavern. A faint shaft of light floats down from the ceiling, following on a paved floor and walls of rough-hewn stone. The site feels familiar. I've seen it before, at the heart of Vlov's catacombs, which means... Aha! There it is. In the center of the cavern, where light meets the floor, sits a 2-meter-long structure. A stone coffin, with a shattered lid knocked askew. Which it says 17 on it, which is interesting. Ciel walks up to the coffin. I follow behind her, close enough to peek into it. It's just as I'd expected. There's a body inside. Or to be more accurate, a collection of splintered bones that may have once resembled a body. The only thing I can make out is the shattered rib cage. The heart held within it must have been ripped out in a single blow. We're standing in Roa's final resting place, where Arcuwood destroyed the rotting core of Soya's supernatural underbelly.
そんなことは。
先輩?
This isn't how I imagined she would react. Does it really matter how Roa died? She should be happy he's dead, not trembling like a child trapped in a nightmare.
どうしたんですか、そんな怖い顔して。ロアってやつはもういないんでしょ。ならこれで万事解決じゃないですか。
Good question. It's a catastrophe as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, okay, it is a catastrophe as far as I'm concerned, since Ciel no longer has a reason to stay in Soya. But objectively speaking, it's the best case scenario. And yet, Ciel is so shaken that she has to steady herself against the coffin.
違うんです。ロアが死んでいる状況は間違っている。これじゃ道理に合わない。転生体が死亡すれば、ロアは次の転生先に移動する。彼を通常の手段で殺しきることはできません。
But you still feel his influence
そ
in
れ
the
でも
city,
一
and
時
that's
的に
where
痕
issue
跡は消える
lies,
んです。
correct?
その町を汚染しているロアの転生体さえ消してしまえば、少なくとも町に根付いた下級の使徒は全滅する。だからもしこれが本当にロアの遺体なら、この町に死者が残っているはずがないんです。
I think back to when Arkwood explained the Dead Apostles' ranks. One thing in particular jumps out at me. Dead Apostles of rank 3 and below, collectively referred to as the Dead, revert to ordinary corpses upon the death of their sire.
でもそれは下級の使徒だけの話でしょ。3階艇より上の吸血鬼ならロアがいなくなっても自分の意志で行動するって。
Yeah. Sure, we found some vampires in that underground garage, but they were at least rank 4. I don't see any cause for alarm.
ニュースはありましたか？
Nope.
テレビでもネットでもいい。ここ数日で身元不明の遺体を発見したというニュースはありましたか？
Look, man, watching the news is bad for your mental
ロ
health.
ア、親である使徒が消滅したのなら、その時点で隠蔽されていた事件が明るみになる。死と討伐において町がまだ平穏であること、それ自体が何も解決していない証拠なんです。
じゃあ
So, Ro is dead, but he isn't.
そこにあるロアの遺体は偽物で、ロアのやつは。
そう。死とロアはまだこの町にいる。いいえ。初めからずっと同じ体にいたんじゃないかしら。
Huh? What?
ねえ。
Me? Who?
そう思わない？当の四季君。
Don't even know what you're implying. A sing-song voice echoes through the cavern. I wheel around to see Miss Noelle standing in the entranceway, dressed in her nun's habit.
四季君を尾行していたら、とんでもない場所に案内してもらっちゃった。それがロアの棺？今の話じゃもう何の意味も
No,
な
it's just
い
kind
ゴミ箱
of
みたいだ
just
けど。
some human beef jerky. You can have it if you want, though. You know, if you're feeling hungry. Might be a little unsalted, but it's better viewed that way. Her halberd in hand, she steps into the chamber. The look on her face sets my every nerve on edge. This isn't the woman I've come to know as my teacher. All I can think about is the gruesome spectacle at the abandoned factory. Her forced smile, her naked bloodlust, her lascivious stare, searching for the slightest opportunity to put her weapon to use. All this time, and this time, all of it is trained on me. Inside my sleeve, I ease my knife into my grip. I stand on the balls of my feet, ready to react if she attacks. She looks at me with amusement.
でも、さすがシエルさんね。
She kind of has range on you, bud. I guess your only option would be to, you know, cut her halberd when she takes a swing at you. Unless she literally just throws a
こ
black
んな
key
逃
at
げ
you,
場
then
の
you're
ない
then
場
you're
所に
done.
標的をおびき出すなんて
Unless you
相変わ
literally
らず
block
手
it.
際がいいわ。ほら、早く始めましょう。入り口は私が押さえておくから、あなたはそこの吸血鬼を殺してあげて。
Don't know what you mean. The vampire's there sitting dead. What could you be implying? Ciel seems to deflate. Slowly, she turns to look at me. Her eyes are filled with a mixture of pity and remorse. My mind goes blank. I don't understand. I don't think I could even if I tried. The two executors appear to have come to a realization I'm not privy to.
まだ分かってないの？それとも分かってない演技？
Little column A, little column B.
まあどっちでもいいんだけど、物証も取れたし、今なら審査もやってこないし、ようやく年貢の納め時よね。こんな結果になっちゃったのは残念だけど、ま、8割方分かっていたことだから悲しくもないか。それじゃあバイバイ。あなたの悪運もここまでよ。吸血鬼。
Whoa, 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 whoa. We don't have definitive proof yet, you know, the innocent until proven guilty and all that. Just kind of splash some holy water in his hand and see what happens. What the hell is she talking about? I have no idea what's going on. I feel the strength fading from my legs. My fingers tremble so violently I almost drop my knife.
シエル先輩。
My whisper sounds like a sinner begging for clemency. But Ciel refuses to meet my gaze. Almost as though she's siding with Noelle and her insane delusions.
あのさ、いつまでも被害者面しないでもらえないかな。この付近でロアの転生先に該当する家柄は遠野家だけ。その遠野家には長男と長女がいたけど、次の転生先は男子であることだけは分かってた。だから必然、君が本来のロアなわけ。こんなこといちいち言わなきゃ分からない。
バカなことは言わないでくれ。俺は吸血鬼なんかじゃないし、ロアなんてやつも知らない。
Yeah, this is some Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic plot twist going on. Sheer indignation breaks me out of my paralysis. I mean, that even makes sense. All I've done is try to rid the city of vampires. How can she think I'm one of them?
あれ？もしかして本当に気づいてなかった？四季君たらそこまで見事にシエルさんと同じなわけ？あっちゃー。これはちょっと悪いことしちゃったな。
But not that bad.
でも
Enough for just a little pang, but not enough to actually stop what you plan on doing. The woman in the habit lowers her eyes and presses a hand to her mouth. Her shoulders start to tremble. She's holding her breath, struggling to fight something back. Yeah, laugh. A ghastly sound escapes through her fingers. Unable to contain herself any longer, she lets her hand fall and looks at me with madness in her eyes.
最高！それでこそロアの生まれ変わりよね。最後まで自分が無実だなんて思い込んでるとか、無様すぎてワクワクしちゃう。
Yeah, that's not very nice. He's kind of going through it right now. I glare back at Noelle, tightening my grip on my knife. She thinks I'm Roa's host? Impossible. What is she even basing that on? Your idea makes me want to hurl. Yeah, you got any sources to back that up?
もう必死になって可愛いんだから。でもそういうものらしいよ。ロアの転生先になった人間はみんな自分を保ったままある日あっさり変わるんだって。
Okay, the static's kind of getting worse. I'm actually gonna unplug my audio real quick and see if that fixes it. Give me a second. I'll be back. Lickety split. Okay, I'm back. Literally 5 seconds later. Yeah, that's what was causing it. The weird thing with my audio adapter is it goes from the adapter into a USB-C cable, but then that adapter plugs into the USB-C to just regular USB. What is that? Would that be USB 2? You know, standard USB, you know, that you get right only half the time when you try to plug it in, the big old square one. It was a little loose and that was causing the static sound on my end. Again, hopefully only on my end, and you weren't getting anything on your end. But I won't even bother looking at that in post. Anyway, now my concept of time is all fucked up because I restarted my recording, and it only shows me a minute in, even though I've been going for at least like half an hour. So we'll go off that assumption that we're 30 minutes in. See where we go from here.
ねえ、そうでしょシエルさん。そもそもあなたは自分をまともだと思っていたの？ナイフ一本で人間を解体できる力は何？常人離れした判断力は？
The first part,
いくら
I'll give
吸
you,
血鬼だからって
that's really weird.
人間だったものをあっさり殺してしまえる価値観はま
It's
とも
also
だと言え
weird,
るのかしら？
but that's because his head's a little wonky after some things that have happened. It's not really his fault, unrelated. Correlation does not equal causation. Sparks burst inside my eyeballs. No,
いい加減自覚したら？あなたは人殺しを何とも思わない。いえ、殺人だけが得意な非人間なのよ。
no, he feels bad about it. Hell, he couldn't even cut a vampire's head off for the first couple times.
あなた自身が気がついていないだけで、
himself up to it.
本当はとっくの昔に死んでいる。気の狂った殺人鬼なんだって。
That's... I want to protest, to deny it. But can I? Come to think of it, when was the last time I thought of my eyes as something unusual?
違う。くだらない言いがかりはやめてくれ。それ以上ノエル先生でも許せない。
Yeah, from one freak to another, shut the fuck up.
ええ、許せなくていいわよ。私も
Talking all this
絶対
shit.
に許さないし、
You ready to get hit?
逃がさないから。
Time slows to a crawl. Noelle swings her right arm down, then back out like a pitcher throwing a sidearm. Metal gleams in her upraised hand. Her arm lashes forward, launching a blade straight at me. I have no problem following the projectile. Noelle is far, far slower than Ciel. But still I fail to respond, because I can't compute why it would be leveled at me, as though I were some sort of vampire. Oh no, this is a real thing. You hear about it a lot when people first go into combat, and they're getting shot at. Like, their brain just can't make the connection of, like, oh, damn, those are bullets. Man, and they're real close to me. What's up with that? Like, are they shooting at me? It's like, why would they do that? Even though it's clearly, you know, you're both trying to kill each other, but just the, like, miscompute in your head, because it's something that's so strange that normally wouldn't happen to you. People can have trouble, you know, actually, I don't want to say coming to terms, because they can come to terms with it, but just, it's such a bizarre thing to happen, you know, if you live a normal, safe life in a regular, stable country, that it throws you for a loop. Should I dodge it? Should I knock it aside? My brain is overclocked, yet frozen by indecision. To dodge Noelle's knife would mean to acknowledge that I'm its target. But that can't be right. That doesn't make any sense. I'm no vampire, so it must be meant for someone else. It doesn't require a response. Logic errors compound, keeping me locked in place. The metal tip touches my chest. And to prove my claim of innocence, I offer it my heart. Clang.
先輩！
何のつもりシエル！
I escape death by a hair's breadth. Ciel knocks the black key aside and sends it spinning into the darkness. She plants herself in front of me, squarely opposite Noelle.
下がりなさい、代行者ノエル。 彼がロアである確証は取れていません。
You're jumping to
今は
conclusions
ロア
here.
の消滅の確認を先にすべきです。
何を言ってるの？確証なんて十分すぎるほど取れたでしょ。もうこの町に彼以外のロア候補はいないって。
I mean, you also thought that last time when you tried to cave in his chest with your boot, but it didn't do anything, so you ended up with some egg on your face.
早計すぎます。それに彼はまだ何の罪も犯していない。無実の者を殺めることは許されません。
Also explains why she chopped them up last time, that dead end we got. The smack of flesh on flesh springs out into the chamber. Noella slapped herself hard across the face. She stares at Ciel, aghast, a hand pressed against her reddened cheek. Her hand slithers up over her face, and her fingers begin to writhe, squeezing, squashing, kneading. She looks like a child freshly awoken from a nightmare, locked in paroxysms? Paroxysms? Okay, of terror, sure.
ふざけないで。
That you're wrong, bitch. You're always wrong. Noelle's shoulders tense. Ciel watches on, her gaze colored with pity.
無実？無実ですって？何言ってんのあんた。今まで散々疑わしきは罰してきたくせに、なんでこいつだけ見逃してやるって言うのよ。
You know, he could also be an asset, so we're weighing the cost-benefit of analysis here, and just so happens this time the scale lands on, let's err on the side of caution, do a real investigation. Noelle hefts her halberd in both hands and charges straight at me. I'm the only thing she cares about. Forgetting about Ciel, forgetting the entrance she was supposed to be guarding, she sprints forward to cleave me in two. But the blow never lands. An effortless kick from Ciel catapults her into the wall. Noelle coughs painfully as she steadies herself. Her halberd is gone, snapped in half by Ciel's kick and sent flying from her hands.
落ち着きなさい、代行者ノエル。あなたの行動は明らかな戒律違反です。先ほどの暴挙は見逃しますから、今は。
かばうの？
Yes. But no, she's taking the side of justice. In this moment, their partnership fractures beyond repair. Even from behind, I can see Ciel trembling. To Noelle, who looks her dead in the eyes, it forms an unmistakable declaration of her allegiance.
何それ？何なのよそれ。のぼせ上がるのも大概にしろって言うのよ。あの代行者シエルがこんなどこにでもいそうなガキ相手に、まさか情とか映してるんじゃないでしょうね。
I mean, he is kind of plain looking, but
私の個人的感情とは別の話です。仮に彼がそうであったとしても、まだ発言していないのなら間に合うかもしれない。
yeah, you just gotta,
ロアに
do a
上
little
書きさ
soul
れる前に
surgery.
助ける手段が。
ないわよ。転生先に選ばれた時点で終わりってもう結論が出てるじゃない。吸血鬼に情は無用でしょ。いつだってそうしてきたでしょ。相手が何であれロアともども殺すだけだってあんたはいつも言ってたじゃない。
それは。
Yeah, you're off your pills, Noelle. You need to like have some cold water and calm down. Ciel goes slack. The accusations have chiseled away her armor, stripping her down to an ordinary teenage girl, who's also in her like mid-20s, but we'll ignore that. But Noelle knows exactly what she's doing.
俺と相手は別だってわけ。すっごい愛らしすぎて泣けてくる。ねえ、もしかしてあんたも私もバカじゃないの？
Mm-hmm. Just in different ways.
違うのよね。もしかしなくても初めから私だけがバカだったわけ。
Well, at least you knew, and it's not, news coming from us. Eyes blazing with hatred, Noelle reveals a fistful of black keys. Surprised she can even hold more than one in her fist, but her fury is no longer directed at me.
ふざけやがって。あんたの食材は何もかも嘘じゃない。
The 3 black keys pierce the air. Ciel swats them away with a single hand.
それなら
Noelle knows she is outclassed. The 3 black keys she strained to fit in her left hand were only a decoy, a distraction from the cremation rite concealed in her right hand. Her final, desperate plan is to hurl it at the slack-jawed bystander watching the fight unfold. Me. But that plan is smothered in its infancy. A black key from Ciel found its mark in Noelle's right shoulder the moment her first volley left her hand. Ow! The shrill scream pierces through blinding light. The black key in Noelle's shoulder ignites, sending a wave of electricity surging through her body. Configured to incapacitate rather than kill, it does not scorch Noelle's skin, but instead ravages the musculature beneath. Ow. Fun thing about getting tased, there's a good chance you'll piss or shit your pants when you do it because of your intense muscle contractions uncontrollably when it happens, so don't stand too close to Noelle. The smell of the sewer will kind of mask it, protect her dignity. Unable to hold herself upright, Noelle glowers at Ciel from down on all fours. Fear clouds her rageful expression, the fear of the weak finding themselves at the mercy of the strong. Ciel steps forward to retrieve her black key. Ow. Fearing a killing blow, Noelle scrambles backwards across the floor. Like a beetle with its legs plucked, wriggling helplessly on its back. Look, we just want the key back. Those things cost a lot. Her trembling lips beg Ciel to spare her.
立ち去りなさい、シスターノエル。今夜の件はその傷で不問とします。支部に戻り手当てを受けなさい。その右腕はあなたでは癒せない。回復した後は、マーリオ司祭代行の指示に従うように。
Yeah, explaining how you got it in the first place is punishment enough. God, such a girl failure. Noelle chokes back a pained moan behind gritted teeth. She plants her left hand against the wall, staggers to her feet, and flees, dragging one paralyzed leg behind her. Oh no, her sciatica. But not before casting one last tear-filled glare back at Ciel. The unexpected intruder now departed. Silence returns to the cavern. Neither of us speaks. I'm still busy processing Miss Noelle's accusations, while Ciel gazes bitterly down at Roa's coffin.
先輩、ノエル先生の言ってたことは。
Don't think too hard about it. She's clearly, off her meds. I can't bring myself whether to ask whether it's true. Noelle might have been unhinged, but still, there was something about me that had her convinced. Roa looks for two very specific qualities in his host. You just haven't realized it yet. There's no denying that both of them apply to me. Which means that maybe I really am.
それはありえません。まったく。遠野くんまで本気にしないでください。ノエル先生の言い分はあくまで可能性の話で、現実的とは言えません。だいたいロアはここで死んでいるんですから、 それでいいじゃないですか。
でもロアは遠野家の長男だって。
You know, supposed to doesn't mean he actually was, and also he is. He's right there, dead in the coffin, looking like jerky.
ええ、それは確かです。だってここで死んでいる遺体がその長男なんですから。
Surprise! You're adopted. Here's a party popper.
長男ってそのミイラが。
ミイラ、まあミイラですけど。
Yeah, I'm surprised it could dry out in such a damp, kind of humid, hot climate that is a sewer.
私の調べでは遠野家にはもう一人子供が、養子がいたんですよ。7年前に死亡したと記録にはありますが、その遺体はどこにもなかった。おそらく秘密裏に生き延び、ここでロアとして活動していたのでしょう。
じゃあそいつは遠野家の養子だったのか。
You're close. You got 50% of the way there.
間違いなく。そうでなければ死体の数が合いませんから。遠野くんは覚えがありませんか？遠野の家にいた子供のはずなんですが。
いえ、それが。
It's like, oh damn, now that you mention it. Yeah, we haven't had the cicada thing in a while, so.
ちょっと記憶にないです。親父が養子を取っていたこと自体初耳でした。
そうですか。遠野家も古い家柄ですから、叩けば埃が出るのでしょうけど。
If you go looking for them, you know, a weird mummy man sticks a machete through your chest, so
ああ、そういえば遠野名義でオフ
sleeping
ィ
dogs,
ス街の土地売買で不自然なお金の流れがありましたっけ？あれなんかいかにも非合法スレスレな感じでしたが。
ちょっと待ってください。親父はともかく秋葉にやましいところなんかありませんから。養子のことだって
hate to tell you, bud.
秋葉は知らないだろうし。
おやおや、
Let's go ask her.
こんな時でも妹さんを立てるとは感心です。家ではさぞ頼りにされているお兄さんと見ました。
And she's also kind of pulling at her collar a bit, like, ooh, like I am, you know, not paying some of the taxes I'm supposed to, and maybe have bullied some people out of their buildings to buy them at cheaper values, and also knew about my vampire brother locked in the fucking sewer, apparently.
いえ、それはその。
I don't think that's how Akiyu would describe a relationship.
そのあたりの事実関係は今
Only
後
in
の
her
調査です
diary
ね。
would she describe it like that.
下級使徒の遺体が出てこないのは気になりますが、思い返してみればデパート地下の件がありました。グローブが暴れたことで下級使徒の大部分は瓦礫に埋もれたのでしょう。繰り返しますが、遠野くんがロアのはずがないんです。今日だって普通に学校に来ていたでしょ。ロアは使徒なんですから太陽の下には出歩けません。
I mean, I guess that's fair, but you know, if he's Roa, that means he's like a really strong dead apostle, right?
ああ。
Oh, that's a good point.
じゃあノエル先生の考えはただの的外れってこと？
She was on the right track. It just kind of got thrown for a loop
でしょうね。
and wound up in the weeds.
早とちりにも程があります。遠野くんは遠野くんです。ちょっと特別な目があるだけの危なっかしくて放っておけない男の子ですよ。
She flashes me her usual smile. I realize just how badly I wanted to hear those words. A great unease lifts from my shoulders. Just as I finally catch my breath, my Nimir returns. Today's barrage of surprises numbed me to my exhaustion, but it seems I can't ignore it any longer.
あとはこの遺体の処理ですね。
Like, what do we do with it? Are you gonna like send it off for like study? Back to
焼
the
却処理
church
しますか
or
ら、遠野くんは離れていて
okay,
くださ
you're
い。
just gonna burn it. I guess there's no point. They probably know most of what they can glean from a Roa husk at this point. I do as Ciel says. As soon as I'm safely back in the sewer passage, Ciel sets Roa's corpse aflame, Hopefully with like magic fire, because otherwise we are in a sewer. There's a lot of like methane down here. You're just gonna blow us up and send some fuck. What are those? Not hubcaps. I can't think of the word, but you know, like the sewer grates, that they use to cover the entrance, the round ones. Dude, my brain's cooked. Those things, like hurtling 30 feet into the air, or just like maybe right into someone's head. In a way, it's sort of anticlimactic. The vampire who haunted this city for years met his end in a dark corner of the sewers, unbeknownst to any of the people he preyed upon. Of course, Ro is far from truly dead, as his reincarnation makes him effectively immortal. The shadow over Soya, however, has passed. At long last, the vampire murders are at an end. The moon shines brightly overhead. Ciel doesn't say a word on our way back to the surface. As I stare at the back of her head, my thoughts drift to what must come next. Ro is gone. My partnership with Arcuit is over. Ro was the only reason she and Ciel were here. Now that he's out of the picture, Ciel has no reason to remain. I grind my teeth in frustration. I'd made peace with the fact that we would have to part. Only I never imagined the moment would come so soon. I don't want Ciel to go, but there's nothing I can do to make her stay. I steal a glance at her face. I can't help but wonder. What is it she plans to do next?
Tono-kun.
Out of nowhere, Ciel stops.
何ですか、先輩。
I brace myself for the words I already know are coming, so my voice won't crack when I say goodbye.
いえ、ただの私情なのですが、昼間の話の続きをしていいですか?
I don't know. It was some dumb bullshit. I can't remember. She must be referring to our conversation about her immortality. That.
全然いいですけど、先輩の体がアルクエイドみたいってことですか?
Ciel nods, her gaze fixed firmly forward. A tense silence stretches between us. Finally, Ciel takes a deep breath and breaks it.
もしもの話ですよ。遠野くんは違うと言いましたけど、私が本当に吸血鬼だったらどうしますか?
My mind goes blank for a moment. Don't understand what she's trying to say.
私は彼女と同じなんです。彼女が経験のない吸血鬼であるように、私は自覚のない吸血鬼なのかもしれない。
She sounds more like she's talking to herself than to me. I don't know what to say. I'm not qualified to offer her comfort, nor to argue her point. But what I do know is that she's laying her greatest vulnerability at my feet. So a lie or a half-truth won't cut it. I just have to tell her my honest feelings.
いいです、そんなの。
え？
だから、いいって言ったんです。たとえ吸血鬼でも、俺は先輩が好きだよ。
Good. Good line though. You know, just straight punch. No flourish to it. Just right to the point. Nothing to get lost in interpretation. Ciel jumps like she just had cold water poured down her back. She wheels around to face me.
そうですか？吸血鬼に例えたのは別の意図だったのですが。
Well, he kind of already answered that.
私を信じられるかどうかといった。事件も解決しましたし、遠野くんの記憶を消すかどうか決めなくてはいけないので。
そうですよね。そういう話ですよね。もちろん信じます。っていうか、先輩の秘密はちゃんと守ります。
Just ignore what I said right there. Just slip of the tongue. Ciel's cheeks flush red, but I feel my own face burning even brighter. Oh, how am I so bad between oh god, you may be bad at reading between the lines, but I'm bad at just reading in general. How am I so bad at reading between the lines?
とにかく俺にとってシエル先輩は何があってもシエル先輩ってことです。それより早く帰りましょう。ここ寒いですか？
Buddy, don't tell me about the cold. It was so fucking cold the past couple nights when I was at work. Like, the raw temperature was like 20, but it was also like 20-mile-an-hour winds, so the wind chill got it down to like damn near 0. And it's finally just starting to get cold this season, so it fucking sliced right through me like an ice-cold knife. In trying to change the subject, I end up blundering head first into the very topic I've been trying to avoid. We should head home. What does home mean to Ciel now? My brain freezes. I stare at the ground, terrified to look Ciel in the eye.
遠野くん
Her voice rings clear through the frigid air. Its colorless tone tells me that there's no avoiding what comes next.
何？
I keep my eyes firmly lowered.
私が何のためにこの町に来たか知っていますよね。
もちろん。ロアを退治するためです。
ええ。けど、その理由までは話していませんでした。
Ah, time to trauma dump us. Gotcha. We're at that point in the relationship.
本当は今夜、二人で町に出た時にお話ししようと思ってたんですけど、なんか。
そうですね。拍子抜けするぐらい、あっけなく終わりました。
Then again, this moment was always coming. Fate conspired to bring it about sooner than I expected, but it was only ever a matter of time.
けど、先輩がロアを追っていたのは、教会の仕事だったからでしょう。理由な。
ええ。私の所属しているチームは、なんていうか、あんまり仕事がないんです。あっても年に数回、
You know,
ち
it
ょっ
is
と呼び出
current
される
year
程度で。
of the 21st century. I'd imagine it's harder and harder for dead apostles to, or dead apostle ancestors to reach the power level that you guys need to get called out
で
to
すか
deal
ら
with it.
今回の件は私の独断なんです。私は教会の指示ではなく、自分の意思でこの町にやってきました。
先輩の意思？
はい。私は自分の事情だけで行動していました。
And that would be...
私は人間として死にたいからずっとロアを追っていたんです。私の体がこんなになってしまったのは、彼に原因がありましたから。
Even if he's, you know, gone out of your body, there's still that vampiric taint left. She wants to die. She wants to die?
それだけのために私はこうして生きながらえてきました。けどそれも終わりです。代行者になってから6年間、長かったのか短かったのかよくは分かりませんけど。
Well, if it's been 6 years since then, she was... Took her a bit to actually become an executor after, you know, getting killed by Arcuid, so... Okay, she's not as old as I thought. She's probably, like, in her early 20s. If that. The colorless voice falls silent. A slender hand comes into view.
顔を上げてください。最後は笑顔で。と言ったのは遠野くんの方ですよ。
Ciel weaves her fingers through mine. Her face lights up with the same brilliant smile that gives me courage time and time again.
遠野くんには感謝しています。私の仕事はこれでおしまいです。あとは残った自分の責任を果たさなくちゃいけません。
先輩、やっぱり。
You're really leaving?
記憶を消そうと思ったけどやめます。遠野くんには嫌われたくありませんから。今までありがとうございました。私こんなに嬉しかったの久しぶりです。ですから最後に握手しましょう。
I mean, sure, shaking hands is kind of... It's a little professional? Detached? Ah, so that's why she took my hand. I finally answer her grip, squeezing back tightly. With so many emotions swirling through my chest, I can't do anything else in the moment. The only thing I can give back to her is a simple gesture.
それではお別れです。ですね。私がいなくなっても、
Yeah, don't make him
乾君と
cry.
仲良くしてください
He
ね。
has a sensitive soul. But you were wrong. There's more you could do than return that. You could do something like suave, like grip her hand, then like pull her into like a cool kiss or something. But it's a little too early for you to be pulling those moves.
私、遠野君と乾君みたいな学生になりたかった。あとですね。あんまりメガネを外しちゃダメですよ。得意なものは得意なものを引き寄せるんです。今回は解決しましたけど、次はどうなるかわからないんですから。
はい、それは知ってます。
Also, would you happen to know where he might get a second pair of mystic eye killers?
昔、
just in case something happens to these ones, like they get lost in the wash or
そもそもです
something.
ね、俺がメガネを外したのはここ最近の話ですよ。
そうですか。それを聞いて安心しました。
Ciel's fingers withdraw from mine. Our handshake undone, we both take a few steps back. She already feels so far beyond my reach.
先輩、また会えますか？俺たち。
Probably not. The question swells within me until I can't hold it any longer.
もちろん、縁があればきっと。だって私も遠野くんもまだ生きているんですから。
Yep, it's a small world. Yeah, maybe she's right. As long as we're alive, there'll always be hope. The fact that we even met at all is proof of that.
もうちょっとだけお話がしたかったけど、キリがないからここまでにします。遠野くんにはこんなのばっかりですね。
Yeah, we've already decided this is supposed to be a dramatic farewell, so if we just keep lingering around and not actually, parting, then it kind of kills the whole point of it. With an embarrassed smile, Ciel turns her back to me.
それじゃあさようなら。帰り道、迷わないように気をつけて。
Make sure to brush your teeth and do your homework, and don't skip class so much. I can't say anything back. I can't stop her from walking away. Just like that, the girl I've been chasing after vanishes into the night. The emptiness in my chest is the only proof she was ever real.
そっか。今になってようやくわかった。
But my heart is at peace. I feel none of that depression or self-loathing that plagued me yesterday. Part of me knew from the start that Ciel and I could never be together. That we live in different worlds, different times. All lives diverge sooner or later. It wasn't the thought of parting itself that hurt so much, but doing so without a proper farewell. But this time, it's not like that. This time, we've said goodbye with a smile. So now, I can let her go with no regrets. Or so I have to believe.
戻ろう。いつまでもここにはいられない。
I silence my wayward thoughts and set off. So his long night has come to a close. Now it's time to leave these memories behind me and return to my normal life. Yep, time to go home and have a totally normal dream about some book you've never read. Almost like it's someone else's life. Wow, really detailed autobiography. I arrived safely back at the mansion. It's already after 9 p.m., over an hour past curfew.
お帰りなさいませ、四季さん。お疲れでなければ何よりです。今日は幾分遅いお帰りになりましたが、お体の具合はいかがですか？
Kawaku greets me in the lobby. She must have been waiting here for a while now, watching the front gate for my return.
ただいま、琥珀さん。それとごめん。 ちょっと仕様で遅くなっただけで具合を悪くしたとかじゃないん
Yeah,
です。
you know, I got a friend that's moving away, and we were spending time together, and you know, we just kind of lost track of time. It's a reasonable excuse.
いえ、無事に帰ってきていただけたのならいいんです。ご夕飯でしたらす
You know,
ぐにご
IKEA
用
can't
意い
get
たし
too
ますの
mad
で、
at that one.
今の方でお待ちいただければ。
今には秋葉はいる。
I'm used to breaking curfew at this point. I'm not sure I can face IKEA while Miss Noel's words still weigh on my mind.
いえいえ、秋葉様でしたらお部屋の方に戻られていますので、どうかご安心くださいな。
いや、そういうわけじゃないんだけど。あのさ、琥珀さん。この家に俺と秋葉以外の兄弟がいたって話
She's like, oh,
聞いたことがあ
hmm?
る。
四季さんと秋葉様以外のご子息様ですか？そういった話はないと思いますよ。
She lies as naturally as
どう
she
したんですか、
breathes.
四季さん。何かあったんですか？
いや、ただ俺に兄貴がいたかもしれないってそんな話を聞いてさ。
He's like, Kawaku,
ちょっと
am
記
I
憶に自
stupid?
信がなくて。
四季さんと秋葉様は二人きりの兄弟ですよ。幼い頃からお屋敷で働いている
Mhm.
私が言うん
IKEA
で
will
すか
tell
ら、
you the
間
same
違い
thing.
はありません。
Kawaku beams with pride. I guess she would know, especially if she's been working here since.
琥珀さん、昔からここで働いてたんですか？
はい、見習いとしてですが、翡翠ちゃんと一緒に簡単なお手伝いをさせていただいておりました。何分昔のお話ですから、四季さんが覚えていらっしゃらないのは
You
当然だと
know,
思
and
い
you know,
ます。
such a big mansion, different schedules. You never really interacted, so.
いや、でも会っているなら少しは覚えているべきですけど。
I can't believe I'd forgotten something like that.
それは仕方のないことです。昔の遠野邸はご来賓の方も多かったですし、何より子供の頃の話ですから。
Yeah, and then you got brain damage on top of it. You know, can't really hold it against you.
今ですらこんな大きなお屋敷なんですよ。子供の視点では果てのない迷路のように思えたものです。この本館だけでも覚えきれなかったのに、今はもう取り壊されたテニスコート横の迎賓館や植物園、離れのお屋敷もありました。
Did they get like torn down, or are they just not in
ご
use?
親戚の方々も滞在していましたし、あの頃誰がどこにいたのかを把握していたのは、それこそご当主であらせられた牧久様だけかと存じます。
そうですね。言われてみれば確かに。
Mm-hmm. I do remember being warned at great length that, for my own safety, I was to never enter the second floor of the guest house unsupervised. In a mansion this large, two people could conceivably live their entire childhood without ever seeing each other.
そうですとも。秋葉様がお忙しいので、今はお暇を出されていますが、
Oh god, did
乗
Key
馬
used
用
to
の
be a
馬屋もあ
horse
ったんで
girl?
すから。
Have her little horse binder with her fucking long jeans, hair in braids, and play the flute?
あの頃のお庭は毎日
Don't
が
know what it
お祭
was.
りのようで、大変楽しゅうございました。
But there's a significant overlap in the Venn diagram of horse girls, girls that play the flute, and girls that carry around like a big scheduling binder with them when they're at school. Like almost entirely all one and the same person, but there's slight, it's not exact, but there's a huge overlap there. Also, horses are fun. Do we have a horse? I feel like she would feel better if you could just like look at a horse occasionally. Don't even have to ride it. Don't have to pet it. Just kind of just stare there. Just stand there and like look at it. You know, kind of it has an AoE like uplifting aura around it. With a wistful smile, Kohaku departs for the kitchen.
俺より年上で何年も前に死んだ養子か。
No, Kohaku's right. There's no point in dwelling on this. Perhaps there really was someone in the mansion who Roa chose as his host, someone who really was transformed into a vampire and fled the mansion to live in the city's underbelly. But tracking them down won't change the past.
秋葉が知らないなら無理に伝える必要はないよな。もう終わったことなんだから。
With that, I head to the parlor. I'm not particularly hungry, but I shouldn't skip meals. I need all the energy I can get right now. Also, maybe don't sit on the nice furniture after you literally just crawled out of a fucking sewer. Like that kind of place, like it sticks on you. Like, I'm surprised Kawaku didn't ask, like, damn, why do you smell like a septic tank? Like, you got some weird hobbies, bud. After finishing dinner and taking a bath, I collapse into bed. I draw the covers over myself and stare vacantly at the ceiling. For once I felt a sense of foreboding at the prospect of sleep, I now feel only release. Or perhaps that's just another word for emptiness. It's over. All I have to show for my adventures are memories and scars. Tomorrow, I'll go back to being an ordinary high schooler. I've done enough fighting, enough killing. It's time to forget. I'll forget everything, and when I wake up tomorrow, I shake away the memories encroaching on my mind. Ciel is long gone. Not that I could have asked her to stay on my own selfish account.
くそ。そんなわけなかったんだ。
I always knew Ciel and I lived in different worlds. That's why I accepted that our parting was for the best. I wanted to show her that I understood, for fear that she might resent me otherwise. But now I'm living with the consequences. That bluster about saying goodbye with a smile was no more than a mask for my feelings. Couldn't forget our time together if I tried. If I'd known this would hurt so much, maybe I should have asked her to erase my memories after all.
バカか。俺は。
Don't trust anything you think or tell yourself after 9 p.m. It's not real. I squash the thought before I can finish it. It's too late for this. I need to go to sleep. Acceptance will set in by tomorrow, I'm sure. That's how it always goes. The darkness of sleep will wash away my memories, and when I resurface, if I resurface, I'll greet the morning anew. Clinging to that hope, I surrender my body and mind to my exhaustion. And any sleepwalking adventures, or where there was once a public park, now only a sea of rubble remains. Though the investigation into the mysterious gas explosion that birthed it was shelved within a day, the area remains sealed off by the police. The crater is as desolate and silent as the grave. And it is to this blasted wasteland that Sister Noelle had fled in anguish and desperation. With her paralyzed leg unable to offer support, she descends the debris on her hands and knees. Her face is smeared with filth, her habit is torn to shreds, her wounded shoulder is black with necrosis. Ugh. It would be hard to imagine a more pitiful sight. Someone in the know might think her a lesser dead apostle, or even one of the shambling dead. None would believe that she was, until mere hours ago, an executor. Oh, lose your footing? Her leg catches on a mound of debris, sending her tumbling down the slope like a discarded bag of garbage. She stifles the scream that wants to tear through her throat. Although no one is chasing her now, silence is still imperative. She is fleeing from many things. From her mentor and fellow executor. From that insufferable superior who demanded she deliver her report in person. And most of all, from a burning thirst that only blood can slate.
治療なんて受けられるわけ。
Yeah, they'd find out you were a vampire. agony in her shoulders enough to make her weep. Ordinarily, she would visit the church's local headquarters for treatment, but that is no longer an option. Submitting to a medical inspection in her current condition would be tantamount to suicide. Between her putrefying arm and her burning throat, her sanity is under assault from two fronts. Anyone would think only of trying to weather the storm, but not her. In this, her darkest hour, her thoughts are filled with nothing but hatred.
何あれ何よあれ何なのよ
She pounds her left fist, her only functional limb, into the ground. With a surge of bitterness, she reflects on her battle she just lost. It was over almost before it began. She knew she had no chance of winning a fair fight. Her only hope was the element of surprise. So she would draw her enemy's attention with a feint, then creating an opening to kill the young man behind her. It was the perfect plan. But her perfect plan never stood a chance. Then how about this? She threw her first 3 black keys with all she had, only for them to be deflected. Not much she expected, though she had secretly hoped one might find its mark. But then she was bested before her master stroke even left her hand. In that moment, she knew despair. Her mind flooded with masochistic self-loathing. I never saw her move. How am I supposed to fight that? I always knew I was weaker, but I worked all 6 years to catch up, and I was so sure I had. How had she widened that gap even more than before? I'm not even a worm beneath her boot. On your feet, Sister Noelle. She called her sister then. Not executor, not disciple, but sister. As if saying she had no other titles, as if to say her other titles no longer applied. Well, so be it. She knows full well that she has strayed from the right path. This day was going to come, with or without Shikitono. And yet... She howls her resentment into the night. How dare she look so weak? How dare she act so vulnerable? How dare she bare her heart? How dare she show humanity? So underhanded, an unforgivable betrayal. How dare she? For 6 years, Noelle kept her resentment in check. For 6 years, she repressed her envy of Ciel's genius, comforted that her partner was bounded by chains no amount of talent can break. But then how is she to explain what just transpired? Her thirst for vengeance was quelled by one thought alone. Ciel is no longer a human being, but a hero. But what if that were proven false? What if Ciel's inhumanity was only a facade? What if, in her heart of hearts, she sought happiness like anyone else? Then there could be no greater betrayal. Ciel must atone. That much she owes to Noelle. She must pay the price for ruining everything. Does she think she can sneer at that obligation from behind her mask? Only on account of her freakish strength was she allowed back into the fold. Only because of her inhumanity were her sins forgiven. Mere human would be granted no such clemency. Sin demands punishment. Evil demands retribution. Cruelty demands cruelty in return. If Ciel were human, her crimes would cry for answer.
なのに何もできない
So the answer is simple. I too must become something non-human.
強いから
強いからって幸せになるの？
Yes.
私は弱いからこのまま死ねっていうの？
Hey man, it's like if you played a pickup game with your friends against like, I don't know, the fucking New York Jets. Like you're gonna get stomped. Like even if it's flag football, like get fucking stiff armed. Like onto the ground you go. Goodbye. Like you're just not winning, dog.
私があいつよりもっと強かったら。
Sorry, Noel. I was thinking about football and kind of stopped listening to you when you were talking there. Strong enough to deliver God's punishment. Strong enough to show that Iron Maiden, that mindless killing machine, her place. She claws mindlessly at the rubble, tearing at her nails, wearing her fingertips down to bloody nubs.
神様、神様、神様。
I beseech you, grant me salvation, and rain down upon her just retribution. The fallen executor goes on spewing vile curses in her hysteria. She has long forgotten the core tenet of prayer, that above all else, one offers them not to seek worldly benefit, never mind personal profit.
でもそれが大変いいのです。
I was about to say, you know, we've seen that spider around for a while, and like, ooh, who's this? Is it Mario's? Because he like pulls the strings, literally. You know, that's his thing, Puppet Master, and those are kind of like webs, or is it literally spider-themed woman Arak? But that seemed too on the nose.
私、その祈りだけで十分おかずにできちゃいそう。
A nighttime fairy to give you a super drug that'll make you feel better. Noel spins around to face the source of the voice. Oblivious to the trap she has just snapped shut.
はーい、こんばんは。こんなところに隠れ家を作ってるなんていけない子ね。ま、そのあたりはどうでもいいけど。なに？ノエルちゃんは強くなれればそれでいいの？
I've been wondering what your part in all this is, Ragnarok, but let's see where this goes. Noelle struggles to comprehend what is happening. She's been camping out in this crater to avoid being found by Mario. But not even Ciel knows of her hiding place. So how did this strange woman track her down?
来ないで。誰よ、あなた。私は通りすがりの善人よ。ノエルちゃんにちなんでスクルージとか名乗ってもいいんだけど、私キャロルはなんか嫌いなのだわ。
But you said it anyway, so.
強者が弱者になっちゃう話じゃない？愛が足りないんだってば、愛が。その点私はラブ大サービス。弱者を強者にするのがライフワークなの。どう？今なら底辺で出会った記念に。あなたを強くしてあげるけど。
Yeah, you know, this super suspicious deal that one might say would be a deal with the devil. Noelle laughs at the absurdity of it all. This bizarre stranger is so nonsensical, so farcical, and she can't even bring herself to be afraid.
ふざけないでよ。何も知らないくせに何気軽に歌ってるのよ。強くなれるのならとっくになってる。私みたいな凡人じゃあの天才には何をやったってかなわない。
I don't know, from the sounds of it, it seems like you've been kind of resting on your laurels, not really keeping up with your training, but so be it. Rage and frustration spill from her lips. Emotions that she has repressed for 6 years. No, 13 years now.
何をやったって？今そう言ったのかしら、お嬢さん。
It's as though a switch has been flicked. High-heeled shoes click sharply against stone as the white-cloaked figure approaches.
あなたはまだ何もしていない。
Like, really, really tried. I'm not saying you've done the bare minimum, but...
強くなる努力も工夫も、対価も愛も何一つ支払っていない。
To be fair, not many people have. Spindly fingers brush Noelle's lips. A pale hand lifts her mud-smeared chin.
でもまだ間に合うわ。ねえ、かわいいお嬢さん。強くなれるのなら、本当に何をしてもいいの
Yeah,
か
it
し
just all
ら。
requires a change of perspective. A newfound spark of resolve is lit within her. Ignoring her creeping dread, she nods in agreement. And her fate is sealed.
でもどうやって？
そんなの簡単よ。私があなたを本物の吸血鬼にしてあげる。
Yeah, I give you a super drug.
待って、何言ってるの？
I mean, is it? Like, Ciel's a vampire,
吸
so
血鬼に
it's
する
only
って。
fair.
うん。それより本物って。
ほ、ノエルちゃんたら血を吸われたから使徒化してると思ってるけど、それただの勘違いだから。あなたには使徒になる才能すらない。
Mm-hmm.
本当の凡人であることをまだ受け入れてなかったのね。
Like, this isn't vampirism. You just have hepatitis right now.
でも安心して。私の方法ならどんな人間も、それこそ虫けらだって吸血鬼にしてあげられるわ。
待って。
Hooray! Good little wormies deserve a treat, right?
私、汚染されてないの。だって喉が渇いて、こんなに苦しいのに。
That's because you're having a panic attack.
ああ、それ、ただの思い込み。あとちょっと風邪気味なだけなんじゃな
You've been
い？
crawling around in the sewers for a couple weeks. You're run down and ragged. That's why you feel like shit. As Noelle tries to scramble away, a weight gently settles on her back. She looks around to find her body entangled in sticky white threads. Something horrifying is on top of her, straddling her, running its glycering tongue over her lips, like a colossal, hideous spider toying with a fly.
さあ行ってみましょうか。かわいい虫けらさん。
Yeah, who knows? It might even be fun.
いやー、臨床実験は私も初めてだからドキドキして思わず食べちゃいそう。
やめ、お願い、やめて。やだ。吸血鬼になるのだけは死んでも嫌。
Yeah, just a little prick, just a little injection. Probably just had a couple vials of Roa blood sitting around. In a short few minutes, the pain of her birth subsides. While her flesh has been entirely transformed, her mind remains intact. Her human sensory functions, cognition, and worldview are now being updated in real time to match her new physiology. Her voice swells with equal parts joy and agony. She once swore that she would never become a vampire. That vow remains unbroken. For even now, seeking revenge on vampires remains her raison d'etre. Raison d'etre. But within minutes, that too will fade. As the ecstasy of immortality courses through her, her human obsessions will come to seem petty and small.
ほら、なってしまえば楽でしょ。そういう姿になったのは予想外だけど。
Yeah, that's
ノエルちゃんはその頃が一番
Oh, is
ノ
that
リ
how it
ノリだっ
works?
たってこと？
そうよ。文句ある？これが私。この姿が私。こうなりたかったのが私。
that's
すごく上出来。
You're one of those
気に入
regression
った
type
わ
people, huh?
この姿。ありがとうって言ってあげる。
俺は結構事前事業だもの。
I
でも
guess the little girl lover
それ
part
だ
of
けじ
Nasu
ゃ
is
あ
still
の大
alive and
校
well
舎には
somewhere
勝てな
inside
いわ
him,
よ。
even though he's moved on
む
to
しろ
giant
カモに
woman
なった
now.
感じ？
そんなの言われなくても分かっているわ。今の私なら黒剣一本で始末される。
Well, you gotta start from the ground up, you know?
どう
Start building strength.
追加の注射をしなくちゃね。
れは
Cool.
さっきの注射と違うの？
Drugs.
同じものよ。これ一本一本がイデアのレプリカ。一本ごとに使徒の海底を上げる。私とくす。ただし、一本ごとに死の痛みが魂に降りかかっちゃう。痛覚のない人にとって原理の書き換えは死の痛みだもの。
Literally chipping and like chiseling away at your soul and reshaping it. So, yeah, it seems like it would hurt. The creature in the lab coat brandishes 6 syringes. Noelle senses innately that she's currently equal to her rank 2 dead apostle. At rank 4, a dead apostle is capable of overpowering a typical executor, while a rank 5 dead apostle bears a curse potent enough to defeat them by the score. If so, then after 2 or 3 more injections, she'll have nothing left to fear. She should take them all. Should she take them all, she would ascend to the 8th rank, putting her on verge of ancestorhood. Even a true ancestor would fear her. But each dose will drag her to death and back. And with the dead apostle's awareness, she can tell that her soul is not resilient enough to withstand them all.
一本で1回転。
Yeah, that seems convenient.
ええ、それは保証してあげる。
How does it work?
さあ、あなたは何本まで試
What's
す
in
の
'em?
かしら。
An obscene smile dares the newborn dead apostle to take the plunge. Yeah, first hit's free. She hesitates for a moment and snatches all 6 syringes from her benefactor's hand, and face contorted with fear, drives one into her heart. A synthetic principle, idea mosaic, courses through her veins. Agony far worse than her previous transformation rends her flesh, accompanied by a visceral revulsion, as though she were being rejected by the earth and everything upon it. That was loud. Thanks, Noelle. I appreciate that. One would think the capacity for pain is all that was left of her. A series of alterations are attempted, rejected, and revised in this nightmarish caricature of an experiment. Grotesque death and gruesome rebirth alternate in the span of seconds. Agony racks her crimson body, stripping her even of the ability to call for help. No moon shines down from above. No stars gleam in the sky. This is hell on earth, an inescapable, 8-legged cage. And so her cries go unheard, swallowed by the darkness, until she has become a true vampire in body and in soul. Well, that's not good. But on the bright side, hey, there's a new vampire around. Ciel's gotta stay. Haha, got her on, lock and chain, hook, line, sinker. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, I know it's a little abrupt, but hey, that's where the day ended. We're probably around an hour and a half, maybe a little bit more, because I forget when we actually killed it last time, or earlier in the recording. So with that, I feel like that's a good place to call it, because I still need to get this uploaded. It's just about to hit 3 o'clock, and I want to get it up before the sun goes down. No particular reason, I just feel like that's a good rule of thumb to go off of. So with that, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and check out the Discord description in the description down below. And I will see you all next time for the continuation of Ciel's route, where now things are fully off the rails. Was mostly the same up until now, minus all the new stuff. But now we're fully in uncharted territory, and I'm looking forward to see what happens next. And I hope you'll be there with me. Catch you guys later. Now, bye bye.